Good day everyone. So for this video, I will be discussing the collision regulations rule number 8, which is the action to avoid collision. So let's start. So the first sentence, the sentence letter A, any action taken to avoid collision shall be taken in accordance with the rules of this part and shall, if the circumstances of the case admit, be positive, made in ample time, and with due regard to the observance of good seamanship. So, if there is any things that you can do to prevent the collision, you should do it, but should think that it is good or it can help the vessel to be more safe from having a collision on the sea. So next is the sentence letter B. Any any alteration of course and or speed to avoid collision shall, if the circumstances of the case admit, be large enough to be readily apparent to another vessel observing visually or by radar. A succession of small alterations of course and or speed should be avoided. So, in the time that you are observing and you see that that you and the other vessel, your vessel and the other vessels are prone in collision, you should do an alteration, a big or large alteration to point out to the other direction to prevent the collision. So you should make another direction to point out and go there so that the collision should not occur. Also, reducing the speed of the vessel can help most also by preventing of having a collision. Reducing the speed is making the other vessel to pass through first than your vessel. So that that kind of available means to prevent collision have a very big help. So next is the sentence letter paragraph letter C. There is sufficient sea room. Alteration of course alone may be the most effective action to avoid a close quarters situation, provided that it is made in good time and substantial and does not result in another close quarter situation. So as I said, if you can observe or see that there is a collision that, or should I say the your vessel and the other vessel is a prone of collision, you should do an alteration to point, or should I say point out or go to another direction. But you should also observe that the direction that you point out that is clean, or there are no vessels right there, so that you can also be prevent to make another collision to the other ship. So next is the paragraph letter D. So, action taken to avoid collision with another vessel shall be such as to result in passing it at a safe distance. The effectiveness of the action shall be carefully checked until the other vessel is finally passed and clear. So, if you do an action such as alteration, you should observe it time to time until the vessel that is prone to collision has passed through. So that is very important. So the next sentence is the sentence letter E. So if necessary to avoid collision or allow more time to assess the situation, A vessel shall slacken her speed or take all way off by stopping or reversing her means of propulsion. So, as I said on the as I recall, it was on the sentence letter B that I said that reducing speed can also have a very big help. So, you should also do if there are no another available means that could help in preventing collision. So, you should do a a reducing of speed of the vessel to prevent collision to the other ship, because reducing speed or just stop the vessel. So next is the paragraph letter F, and the letter F has consists of three paragraphs. So the first is a vessel which by any of these rules is required not to impede the passage or safe passage of another vessel shall, when required by the circumstances of the case, take early action to allow sufficient sea room for the safe passage of the other vessel. So you should decision as early as you can to take an alteration or stop the the vessel to prevent a collision, because there are another ship that is approaching also. So you should decision to take an alteration as early as you can, because if there are a short time and you are decisioning on a very short time until the time that that the two vessels is approaching, they the prone of having a collision is getting higher. So you should make a decision as early as you can. So the next paragraph on the letter F is a vessel required not to impede the passage or safe passage of another vessel is not relieved of this obligation if approaching the other vessel so as to involve of collision, and shall, when taking action, have full regard to the action which may be required by the rules of this part. So as I said on the last paragraph, that you should do a decision as early as you can, and another is you should not to impede the passage or the safe passage of another vessel. So because if you impede the passage of the another vessel, it can cause also another collision or a prone of collision, because of the if the part of the sea is a sufficient sea room, or a small size, or is or the area of the sea is not wide. So the third and the last paragraph on the letter letter F, a vessel the passage of which is not to be impeded remains fully obliged to comply with the rules of this part when the two vessels are approaching one another so as to involve risk of collision. So in this sentence, it is already said that making an another way or point out in another direction or make an alteration to prevent the collision or the risk of collisions with the other another ship. So that would be all, and I hope you learn or you can get and learnings from my video, and thank you for watching, and once again, good day everyone.